Information crossing the boundaries of terabytes and entering into the league of petabytes is a lot to be encompassed by the human brain. Therefore, to channelize and capitalize on the huge database, the technology that has evolved is in the form of digitization.
That takes us to the next session. We would like to invite Mr. Pritpal Lakha, National Head Marketing, Aircel Business Solutions, to share his views on dawn of digital decade. Sir, we request you to kindly come up on the stage, please. A postgraduate in business administration from Acceleri, Sir has over 20 years of experience in product marketing and branding. Sir has been instrumental in creating the brand Aircel the way it is now and launching iconic national campaigns like Airtel Pocket Internet and Save Our Tigers. Prior to Aircel, Sir has also worked with Rediffusion, Ogilvy and Mather, where he developed various brands for Seagram's, Godfrey Phillips India, Hyundai Motors, Maruti and Taj Group of Hotels. He has also created the brand for Santro Zing, Hyundai Motors and the brands, etc. He has been iconic in his work. We welcome you, sir, to Communique 11. Sir, we request you to kindly preside over the session.
Hello. Thank you. Good afternoon, delegates, faculty, and students. There seems to be lack of energy. How many marketing students are here? Oh, half of them. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, yes. So a lot of sessions happening during the day, a lot of technology, deployment, equipment, devices, LG, 4G, cable. A lot of these things are being spoken about, and I'm sure you guys have spent last 1.5 years studying about it. You must be visiting during your summer training, some of the telcos or equipment manufacturers, and there is a lot of knowledge and intelligence lying over here in this forum. We have heard many delegates speaking on various subjects in our ecosystem, be it content creators, be it, sometimes we are called dumb pipes, telecom operators, and, media players. There are so many of them. So today's session is not going really, giving a lecture about, what happens in the ecosystem, but primarily targeting at the marketing students and looking at what lies for marketeers as we go ahead in the future. So, can someone tell me, your marketing students, are we an FMCG? No? What is FMCG? Fast moving goods. So what is our fastest moving good? SIM card. It sells faster than soaps, right? But what's faster than that? What do we sell? Sorry, you are telecom students. Voice, data. Every millisecond, right? So we are in FMCG. Yeah? We are like the works of Hindustan Levers and P&G, which are creating fast-moving goods. Then, what are we doing in devices? What's the DAT? That's a durable, right? So we are a consumer durable also. Okay? So we are durable, we are a non-durable. Then, there's something called mobile TV. So what is TV here? It's a media, right? You download songs. So where are we? We are in entertainment. So what do we look at? We look at news, we look at RSS feeds, we have smart devices. So how many products and services are there that a telco touches? or the ecosystem touches. So what we say today is your next skin is a mobile phone, right? You wake up in the morning, you see a device, you cannot live without it. When you sleep, before that you see a device, and then go to sleep. So it's with you all the time, anywhere, anytime. So rather than giving too much of details into it, what we're trying to do is this whole system that we are creating is around the so-called digital environment. And going forward in the near future, with the 3G, BWA, and all the various new technologies coming in, we know that Light Squared in US is also creating technologies which is going to merge with the GPS and the telecommunication system with the aircrafts, and the LTE is going to take over even in that space. So what's really happening? What will be the products and services which will get into it? Light Squared is creating products which will be put as a broadband product into Best Buy, and it's going to Tesco's of the world. A creator of a platform, of a technology, is going into Walmart and some other place as a FMCG product which you pick, buy, and deploy. So the reason for saying this is everything is beautiful, nice, and rosy. At the same time, we have to face what is the reality, that you have to take these products and services while living in the, while dreaming the future. We also have to live in the current environment, and that's where this whole understanding of the digital and the digital domain comes and plays a big role. So all the internet companies that we see around us, be it Facebook, Twitter, or so, the dream of the telcos are that they are creating a minimalistic divide between the two. The broadband gateway or the broadways are being created, and the investments which are being put. What is it? We keep saying this is the digital divide. So this session which we are going to show you is in continuation with whatever you have heard, but we'll try to put in a marketeer's point of view to what it means. So let me start this session with a small film, which is an encapsulation of what you would have heard during the session, but it's important for you to see. While it will be on mobile, but we will also touch upon the business, I mean from consumer to business to various high-level enterprise segments. So can we have the film, please? So basically, we are all seeing around us, India is changing, and this is what we call it as the temple of the youth. We all know that by 2015, all prediction, all economists say we will be the youngest nation in the world. Being that, I mean, if you look at UK, it is the inverse of this. They have absolutely opposite pyramid of this one. So what does it tell you? It basically tells you that we are not saying we are talking to youth or any such segment. We are basically talking to somebody called screenagers. They live, work, play, interact, entertain, everything on screens. So when you start thinking and thinking about screens, it basically tells you that you really do not know who is the person sitting out over there, whether it is really going to be 24-year-old youth, or is it going to be 70-year-old nanny on the other side? Because with the emergence of these new devices and everything, everybody is becoming a screenager. And they, as we are saying, they are living their life on their screens. Why this is happening? Because predominantly what we have seen over the years is what used to be for family, which was a screen, has now shifted to an individual screen, which is your mobile. And these are some of the facts. These are the number of screens. More than 70 million of them already exist, and going forward, as the emergence of technology will take place, with the 3G coming in, the whole devices ecosystem will change. We will not be seeing any more 2G devices or phones being manufactured. Suddenly it's like CD, it vanishes and iPod takes over. So the screens are going to change, and small will be the new big, which is already being told about. And what you do with the small is the new big varies from various audiences. While we will be making great strategies and make great plan, there will be somebody sitting in the rural area, their first screen is going to be a mobile screen. It's because they have not, there is still miles to go before they can afford one. And a lot of these people will be having their first internet experience itself on this little device. They might not know it's going to be an internet that they will be using. The applications will be so simplified that with the touch of a button, they might be accessing like a weather report, or they might be calling a particular call number to get what are the prices of the various grains and other things which are happening. And all this technology which is going behind all this is trying to simplify the life of a consumer. So you as marketeers, once you start going down that part or that path, it is no more about looking into the frills of this, the fancy part of it. You will have to go deep down, understand the insights of where these applications are, what languages they have to be brought into, so that the first screen or the experience of the internet that will come into picture will play a major role in changing someone's life somewhere. So a lot of innovations, a lot of scope of mobile related internet products and services which we'll see, which will emerge in the near future. So what basically we are saying is, this is what is being said as per our contribution to the GDP. America was built primarily on what they call the highways, and because of the car industry, the whole economy changed, and that's how it restructured the way they thought about. So that's why you see everything which is big over there. There is nothing which is small. In India, this is what I think the telecom industry was able to do. So what happens now with this new era, which we are going to look ahead after the 3G and BWA? You have had a lot of questions, and I was seeing through panel discussions, a lot of excitement around this whole project. But as marketeers, what are the insights that we need to draw? It has to be simplified. Across the world, what we have seen is the moment 3G or a BWA got deployed, the data traffic has gone almost 10 times or 100 times over a period of years. And the voice has actually gone negative in most of the places. So the voice revenues have fallen, and because of the IP network or the VoIP or the, depending upon the regulatory environment, the countries have actually taken everything over through the various networks. And in India, the key drivers are going to be massification. It is no more that 3G is going to be expensive. We have broken all business models, price models, everything, because Indian consumer is very finicky. If it doesn't come to them at a point, they reject. It's like our Indian cricket. They perform, they are loved, they don't, they're out. So whether we like it or not, if our performance don't matter, even if our returns don't come, you will soon see that the 3G will become a default like a 2G. It's going to happen anytime. It depends upon who will be the first announcer, who will bleed the most. And while this is going to happen, there is already 4G thinking, deployment. All industry leaders have said, because we want to jump the curve and come closer to the Western world and everything that has been deployed. So while we are thinking of strategies for 3G, we have got a new animal out there, which is a 4G, and then it's the same device, but it runs on different technology, and it does A, B, C, D, which we have all heard about. So keeping that background, this is what the data is saying. More than 70% of whatever consumptions of internet users across the world will primarily happen from Asia-Pac region. It will be China, India, Indonesia, Vietnam. Almost by 2015, 70% of such use will primarily be driven by this explosion, which means both between India and China itself will cover the rest of the world by sheer population. And if 3G devices are going to be massified, see what will happen to that. The key drivers primarily will follow based on the behavior of consumers. It will be in the area of entertainment and video, music, and some part of social networking, and all that will be the key drivers. And this is the study which has been done by McKinsey, and it has been commonly seen that across the globe, this has been the key drivers for initiating this explosion. Not only that, but we have already seen, various studies have said that the way people behave on a PC, their behavior will be similar even on a mobile. So if social networking and the behavior of the social networking started with the Facebook and the Twitters of the world, the way it has happened on PC, it will follow a similar pattern or will explode in volume terms on a mobile. So while you are creating strategies of various kinds, you will have to keep these basic parameters in mind. So there is an ecosystem which is primarily targeting towards getting development in this area. But yes, browsing will play a big role, and what people will search for, there are various analytics that will come in the near future will tell us that. So who are the key drivers of such ecosystem? We have all heard that. Google, already ahead of everyone by almost a decade. They already created the whole ecosystem which is digital. You would have heard or you would have studied that Google is doing mass digitization across the world of all the libraries that exist. They are creating newer technologies to scan the older history records in a manner that it is able to do all the scanning of everything that exists, depending upon the countries or the institutions that participate in the next 10 years. And this will be tagged along with the researches that one will be looking for. So there is, what is it going to do? It is going to create this whole mass of ecosystem just by archiving things in a manner that it is already archiving. Now, what does that tell us? Are our land records digitized in India? No. So if tomorrow government projects are going to take place, that's the digital area it has to go. Because if it doesn't happen, we will live in that world where you will still go and search whether that land still belongs to you or not. So UID project, whatever you call it, it's all part of that whole digital ecosystem which is getting. Apple, which is the disruptive brand, it has already done. I don't need to speak much about it. Amazon or any of this. And all this is only going to work if it has faster, better, smarter networks to support those. And all technologies, whichever are being fronted either by Qualcomm, which brings LTE or anyone, they are in that era of speeding things, so that consumers are able to do that. We are already seeing emergence of this whole augmented reality. With LTE, you will see, you will use your smartphone to scan over any object, and it will be getting tagged to the nearest advertisement which will be put onto the YouTube. So advertising revenues will no longer be coming from advertisers, but will come from the smart devices, and how telcos and the advertising agencies are able to create an ecosystem so that it drives traffic to that. So here comes the questions to you. What will your marketing plan be? What would your media plan be? How will you see that emerging into the near future? And are we getting exposed in that area? So the heart of the whole matter which we're trying to say over here is that yes, mobile is what is, or as a pipe, or whatever way we want to say is going to be the key to the ecosystem where everything is going to happen. Internet banking, we've already seen, it is going to move into mobile. I'll take some of the examples in where we are involved. So what is Aircel doing to unleash this? Here are some of the facts which a lot of leading researchers which have spoken about, whether it's Nielsen or Gartner or any of those, Exicon. What are they saying? That currently today, they are predicting 55% of Indians are more likely to own or have a definite purchase intent of tablet to watch videos, which means we are already predisposed to something called tablets. And with Huawei, ZTE and all the other who are going to massify this tablet, it might be cheaper than even your mobile phone. And the moment it becomes that, you would like to get entertained on that larger screen than the smaller one, because the choice will be yours. So you are going to suck up someone's bandwidth in any format, whether it's a Wi-Fi or a 4G or WiMAX, whatever formats you are going to use. So the convergence of technologies has to be such that for that seamless experience, what is going to be your marketing or the digital plan to capture that audience? So which means it puts the marketeers to start thinking like video companies, it start thinking like audio companies, you have to start thinking like anything that as a banker, as a retailer, as a merchandiser, it is no more about segmentation, means youth, this, that, nothing. It is no more verticalization, which means manufacturing, retailer, this. We have to get creative. We have to think out of the box. So marketing is now going to become a science, a combination of art and science. It always was, but I think more towards the art to drive the science, which is the technology. So here are some of the facts which we have already seen. We have moved away from all these traditional elements, and you are the early adopters of all these new trends, devices, on-demand, user-generated, high-definition, 3D, and so on and so forth. This is something which we have already done with we are part of the Maxis group. For those who do not know, it's the largest telecom operator in Malaysia. All your account history, bill payment, money transfer, utility payments, they will all come and sit in one single box. It's already implemented, and we are working closely with our partners and Maxis has been primarily been one of the key drivers across the globe on many technologies. We were the first to launch, mobile wallet and HSPA and other such technologies. This is just another example which we did with the Western Union. The first mobile-to-mobile money transfer was done outside USA by Maxis. So a lot of people do not know that the technologies are only done in Silicon Valley. No, there are a lot of done here also. Only thing is the way it has been propagated doesn't come to the face of the masses. And NFC, near field communication, Maxis has, along with this, already been tested. It is while you swipe your phone in front of the system like you do today with your credit cards, and you can touch and go and make your payments on the go. Now, why is this happening? This is all because you are making Visa money and everything all virtual, so that today you do not have to actually stand in a line and stand. You can do it while shopping anywhere across the marketplace, finish it off and go. So the whole system and the way near field communication will also come into picture will change. This is just one of the things which is already happening in the ecosystem. It's got deployed and it's already tested and it's working in that country, and hopefully someday it will touch here also. We are already working on a lot of M2M solutions. Apollo is a part of our group company, so we are closely working on some of the healthcare solutions with them, and so, hopefully some of these will also get into remote monitoring of patients and stuff like that, where the doctors in the middle of the night can get an alert that some patient in some of the hospital is not. It's not that a physical nurse has to come and check. There will be devices which will be remotely talking. With the LTE coming in, a lot of vending, retail, banking and everything will be on the go. Cars are going to get smarter, and all this is dependent upon the kind of infrastructure, connected buildings. Part of Aircel is also Aircel Business Solution, which we look into. It includes enterprise mobility, all your network and the access solutioning that we look at, device management, wholesale, data center, IT solutions. This itself is a mass field, so we are just touching upon that. We are also in this area. The top 3 trends of the enterprises. This is what Frost & Sullivan states in the Asia Pac region, that there is going to be very thin blur between the way the consumer and the enterprises are going to behave. So which means as a marketeer, we don't have to think this is just enterprise. The enterprise will have consumers. Their way to work is going to be different. They'll be working from home. And what are the solutions that we have to think about when they are working from home? Are they secure enough? Will they be on a mobile device, or will it be on a tablet, or some new screens which will emerge? Is something which is marketeers, we have to plan. Cloud, a lot of hype right now, but the reality will tell you that what is going to happen in the cloud. And though the adoption of this is going to happen, whether it is the same way that we have predicted for 3G and 4G, big hype, but what is the reality? We will soon see it. And whether we like it or not, the marketeers are going to work in this area. I'm rushing it because I have to look at the time. Of course, we are all creating 24/7 global networks for 24/7 monitoring, whether it is on remote services or monitoring or management of these services. IP, VoIP, ABS is doing all this. I will not elaborate much. We have international presence. We have POPs all across the world to give global access. We have recent tie with Vertela, where we have launched the WAN acceleration for the enterprise services on the cloud, and we will soon be doing that even in India, which means all the applications which our clients are going to run, the speed at which they have to be accelerated has to be like 5 times more than what currently is. So these new technologies are going to help do that, and the network companies are already working to create this end-to-end SLAs. So in the nutshell, what we are saying is, you can't read it well. So digital is going to be your sixth sense. You have to think all the time as a digital consumer, which is not a normal consumer, and their consumption and segmentation habits are going to be very different than what you would have learned or what all the other management institutes are going to. So you guys are lucky enough because you are already, come with a telecom background, you understand the technology and you understand what it is. But as marketeers, if you are going to go, there will always be a fight between a traditional marketing approach and the new generation digital or a web-based marketing approach. And I think a lot of emphasis in the near future, which I'll recommend even to the faculty as a digital marketing course to be included as a part of the curriculum, because people understand it is just about online advertising. That's not it is. How do you do campaign management? How does the lead management funnel comes into picture? Therefore, how do you sell, cross-sell, upsell? Like typically an Amazon and eBay would do is the way we have to think. And I think we are already in that mode as telco, which are going to be as a part of the ecosystem, think like an internet company, and therefore able to think digital all the time. So with this, I would conclude with a small film, which is future. The reason I'm showing this film is, after the film I will say, just hold on for some time, that who is the man who has given a great idea based on what you will see. Can we have the film?
Thank you, sir, for such a lively and thoughtful.
Thank you very much. Can somebody tell me who is using this technology in our space? Touch screen. Yes. So it was started by Steve Jobs as a dream to bring embedded glass technology and to bring into Fora. They were already working with Corning, and iPhone was the one which started all that. And today, your touch phones are getting into that. So while I was not selling, a Corning or a glass, but there are other manufacturers and other players in the world who are also thinking of technology and how it will enhance life, and they might get into our ecosystem. So let's be creative. Let's think marketing in new ways. All the best. Any questions? Any questions? Thank you. You have? Yeah.
Good afternoon, sir. My name is Rohit Tayal. I am from Marketing and Finance. My question to you is digital world is getting popularity day by day. However, if we take a look at the mobile advertising field, it is the challenges involved in it, and when do you see it to pick up
See, those are the challenges which are ahead of us. We as marketeers are working on that part of the ecosystem. Mobile advertising, the way it has to work has not really caught on, because currently our whole ecosystem, the way consumers behave towards the usage of the mobile or the devices have not really come into the forum. If you see, even YouTube today is not making any money, even though Google have spent billions of dollars out of that. But that is very much a part of the ecosystem and part of the business models for us to create that advertising revenues are going to come on. So that's why this 3G and the new technologies, so you cannot see an advertisement on the way you are experiencing it on a TV screen or something. So the screen and the bandwidth and all the ecosystem, once it starts supporting it, you will do it. So mobile TV or whatever has already been announced. It's going in that foray. So where will they start making revenues? Because somebody will be paying for it. So tomorrow you might not be paying, you might watch it free, but there might be an advertiser which will be associated with. And that's where the new marketeers or the brand people will have to start thinking to how to start monetizing that. To create a business model, that's where the telcos and the ecosystems are already working on it. So it's going to happen, I think in the next couple of years you will see that.
Thank you, sir.
Dinesh here from Marketing and Finance second year. As far as mobile marketing is concerned, we are constantly talking about context-based services and location-based services, but the privacy is also a very contagious issue. So how we manage those things, keeping the privacy in context?
So you're very right. Privacy is going to be part of it, but there are regulators. There are certain regulatory or legal environments which are going to be created. So today, even if you're going to look into an iPad and it asks you whether you would like to give the location where you are, the reason it's not trying to see where you are, it's actually trying to map, like in the near future when products and services are going to be created, or can they be closely tagged to your likes and dislikes based on your behavior on the internet. So while privacy and laws and everything are going to take place, so the ecosystem itself will be created in a manner that will support both the growth and also the privacy part. So there will be closed systems, there will be open systems, and based on the government and their regulations, I think in a lot of places the telcos will play a role, or they will be dependent on the third party, which will be making sure that the privacy and the other laws are there. But yes, once it comes into our domain, and if it is created by us, I think it's the responsibility as a corporate that such leakages do not take place of the privacy.
Thank you, sir.
I think I have a flight to catch, so thank you very much. Okay.
Thank you, sir, for such an enlightening session. And we really appreciate the views and opinions given about broadband decade, key drivers for massification of services and digital consumer. Now, I would request my colleague to present, sir, with a memento as a token of our gratitude and appreciation.
Thank you, sir. May I now request you to please take your